All right, we're going to start with a little bit of high vibration. Baby, baby, you don't understand how much I love you, baby, and how much I want to be your only man. Baby, 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 you don't have to go. Stay around a little longer, baby. I would like to talk to you just a little more. I can see the tears in your eyes about to fall. You are wondering, am I for real? But if you cry, I wonder why you cry. I tell you how I feel. But baby, I'm for real. If you want to know the truth about it, girl, I just can't live without it. That's why I'm confessing my love to you. I want to live my whole life with you. Giving out those high vibrations tonight. All right, y'all know how I do it. There we go. Blue Argonite out to everyone out there. Give you the energy of the blue. Can never have too much blue, baby. All right, motherfucker. Killing my heart. Ah. Oh, the CBD lotion commercial. What the hell is this shit? What would be the first thing a new married couple, a new husband would say the first time his wife cooked? What is this shit? What is this shit? uh, well, like my second wife, the first time she made me some food, I was like, you know, they have salt, baby, and pepper and basil. Well, this is the Chocolate Mountain Show, and I am your super funky host, Big Pontiac, also known as Eight Wind, also known as the Time Lord. I am also the holder of the infinite sacred ball game that was created by the hero twin. And I am also your badass galactic daddy O, sitting on my galactic patio, welcoming all the chocolate mountaineers to the outers. And so tonight we are drinking Founders. Excuse me. I drank all the other shit. So we got the Founders left. Founders Porter out of Michigan, I think Grand Rapids. And I think, oh no, my big ass can opener, bottle opener. So pop them if you want them, smoke them if you got them. And as you watch this porter and this brown golden goodness, you wish you were me right now. You wish you were me right now. Look at that. You wish you were me. And we are smoking on the Yukon Wolf Evolve XL. So if you wanted a little larger, you get the XL. Like the first time my second wife saw me naked, she said, "What do you think you're going to do with that?" All right, all right, all right. It's CW up in here. I don't need you to be harassing me on my other content, CWE. Don't be harassing me. Hey, what is happening, brother Edward? There it is. I like that. It's self-realization. Hey, hey, brother PJ, what is happening? Tribe of the Israel Matrix. Shalom, brother. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me. Grant Hill and you could not script it any better. That is right. That is definitely right. Tonight has to sing by through playing those platinum classics, Motown sounds, e.g. the Four Tops, the Temptations. Yeah, that was the originals. I had to write that shit down. Hey, Key, what is happening? And I'll stand on Duke. Yes, you know, and that brings something up. After today, if anybody can put anything in this hat, you know, just pretend the hat is like there with you because I lost everything and probably even the kitchen sink on this shit. So if there's anything you can put in the hat, I will pass it around. And whatever I get, I'll be able to wash my clothes tomorrow. How about that? uh, the song "The Temptations" hit my girl open mic at the joint. Okay, at the Little Rock in Arkansas. Okay, get down that word. Get down, Lorenzo. What is happening? Brother Lobo, what's going on? Truth to Jay, did you think the singer Neo sold out? Possibly. Welcome. Welcome. Possibly. Possibly. Like I didn't even know who this Gunner motherfucker was tonight. I had to look his ass up. I had to look him up. What's up, brother CJ? I am at bathroom. Rest in grace was soprano. She imputed the gift of okay. Okay. Truth of Jay, don't get the amount of success he just got off talent. uh, I'm a Black Jaguar warrior, priest guardian of the Time Lords, especially Big Pontiac. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Um, Shock Duke lost, but I didn't. But I ain't mad. Let's go Tar Heels. Shit, Love killed him. That's what me and CJ was saying. Love made the difference. And I really like when Love shot that three. I was like, when he was setting up, I was like, because when they missed and then he came down, and I was like, if they hit a three, that's game. And sure enough, he hit a three. But after I say something to everybody, Modern Family. Okay, cool. Uh lost my earned money. Duke, I lost. I'll take the L. Me too. Me too. It would have been a lick. It would have been a lick. Uh Opened up my account. Okay. Uh I'll say, like I'll break down the first game. If you really looked at the first game, the biggest note I took, let me see. The biggest note I took about the first game, let me find. Yeah, so it was a drought. The first game, both halves, there was over a drought of 3 minutes in each half where Villanova didn't score. And that was the game right there. Villanova just didn't score. But what was funny though, I made a notice that both teams had European starting point guards. Did you see how they twinned each other like that? They let the one European win, but Kansas looked good. Kansas did look good. I was really impressed. Um, Now, a couple things came on, and I called my buddy. I don't know if y'all noticed this, but Coach K. Now, Coach K, when he came out, remember the camera was right on him. Now, this is what caught my attention at first. Carolina came out with the sweet Jordan all white warm ups. Did y'all check those warm ups out? The Jordan warm ups? That shit was so sweet that they came out with. And then Duke comes out, and I did not see the Nike sign on the t-shirts. I didn't see it. And then Coach K comes out, and there was no Nike on the breast, which I was quite surprised of. But then later in the game, you saw it on the sleeve. You saw it on the sleeve. I thought that was interesting. Here it is, the biggest game of the year, and a coach that you pay don't really wear your stuff where they could see it. I thought that was odd. I thought that was real odd. Um, uh, so really it came down. This is the odd stuff. And me and CJ was texting back and forth about this. The oddest thing that I think I saw, and I really thought Duke was going to win, is when at 118, Coach K's wife came down to the sideline. I really thought they won. I thought that was a tell. Now, I don't know if it was something wrong with her or something wrong with him, but that I really found that odd that she came down. Now, like CJ wrote me, and I saved it. I didn't text this to it because I was kind of saving it for the show. But a couple things that I guess we did miss. And the main thing I think that we missed was, well, CJ was saying that Roy Williams didn't look that great, which he didn't, but he wore a mask even in the earlier games. I mean, I guess that should have been the tell for all of us that he wore the mask. And so they did go off script of not making it Coach K equal John Wooden. They didn't let him go out that way, which I found was interesting. So that's a rub somewhere. That's a rub somewhere. But this was a Roy Williams kind of setup. I was trying to look at other things, trying to see the two. A little bit of Wilt, but Wilt did lose to North Carolina State, not Carolina. Um, Fogg Williams, I got to look up a little more work on Fogg Williams. And if you guys look up, I think it's Fogg Williams. I think it's you'd have to look it up. He would spell his name. I think it's PHO Fog like that, PHO Fog like that. But he was an early Kansas coach. Um, but yeah, Roy Williams wearing the face mask, I think was a tell the whole time. Roy Williams wearing the face mask. But I'll tell you, one of the other things was Williams, um, the big dude Williams missed 2 free throws. That was costly. He missed 2 free throws. He missed 2 free throws. That was very costly. Um, yeah, that was crucial that he missed the 2 free throws. Uh, yeah, but right here I made a note. I was like, when they brought the ball down before Love hit that three, I thought if they hit a three here, that's it. That's it. There's no way they could come back. I think that was the biggest disappointment was Williams um missing the free throws. He missed 2 free throws, which would have had him down by one. But I think Williams wearing the mask was the biggest tell. I see some people came in. Let me catch everybody. Uh, B Brown, what's happening? Black coaches won today. Yeah, that's a good point. Hard to beat these games Duke we thought would win. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Definitely. That's why. Hey, there he is, brother Nick. Brother Nick. Listening while I'm driving. I had enough fun for the day. Okay, I feel you. Thank you. Smooth, what's happening? They hit it. Kansas will win. I'm trying to think. Hey, CWE. Yeah, don't be harassing me in my other video, CW. Don't be harassing me talking about Duke lost. I know they lost. That's why I'm passing the hat around today. Anybody that can put a little bit in the hat, they might come and want these draws back, and definitely they're gonna want them Converse and those Adidas. I kept them in the box just for this kind of rainy day. So if you see me tomorrow night and I don't have, nothing but like old shirt on, you remember how the end of Braxton's Millions when he had to give all the rented clothes back? That's how I'm gonna be tomorrow. I'm gonna be like Braxton's Millions tomorrow. Y'all gonna see me here. The shit gonna be off the walls and shit. I'm gonna be on the flip phone just talking and shit. You ain't even gonna be able to see me. I don't even know how I'm gonna get on YouTube, but some kind of way I'm gonna take one of the flip phones, and just be talking on it. In some kind of way, you guys are going to get it. I'll figure out how to use the little flip phone, and yeah, it's going downhill from this loss. No, it ain't that bad. But the lick was gonna be so good. The lick was going to be so good. Oh, yes, it hurts. It hurts. It hurts. They made him miss the free throws. I think you're right about that. And it was a three in the second half that Love hit that was very suspect. And I was watching Meacham's car auction, and I wasn't thinking because I was like, damn, I want to go back and look at that shot again. Because that was the only one that really seemed questionable in that game. Love shot a three in the second half, and I turned it not thinking. I was like, oh, I wanted to go back and look at that shot. Um, what's happening, PJ? How you doing? SD, what's happening? Red Sox. SD say Red Sox. All the black coaches won today, the NBA in Carolina. Yes, and our new Goldie for the Wild won today too. So get down, you know. Kansas will win. I say that all the odds seems that way, but well, the scenarios we can look at are they going to make Davis like Dean Smith? Because Dean Smith, I want to say, it must have been. Let me see, Butch Lee, 77. I want to say Marquette beat Carolina with Phil Ford and Woods. Maybe Al Wood. No, Al wouldn't have been that old. Oh, shit. 70, 77? Yeah. Al Woods might have been a sophomore on that team because Woods was a few years older than me. But the knock on Dean Smith was he couldn't win the big one. He can get you there. And I just wonder if they're going to do that to Davis. I knew he was missing them free throws. All them free throws was crucial Them free throws were crucial. Yeah, those free throws were so crucial. Well, when I didn't bet Duke today, it had me feeling they might lose too much money on Duke. That's a good point. That's a good point. It was a lot of money on Duke. Um, right on, brother Dick. People are splitting the numbers are equal for both. CBS hinted Kansas. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that Barkley. I think that's what PJ sent me. That Barkley had said that he picked Kansas. Definitely going. So it's number 5 for Duke. Definitely going top 5 in the draft. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He hooped. He hooped. I think a turning point too is remember he got blocked. His shot got blocked like with about 8 minutes left, and I really thought his timing that took his timing off. It seemed like the other shots he hesitated because one time he had to handle the ball too much, and he just seemed after they blocked his shot, he really seemed out of rhythm. I don't know if anybody caught that, but after they blocked his shot, I really thought he was out of rhythm. So Vegas came off, and like if you guys fill this hat enough, I can bet on this game Monday night. So if you guys fill the hat up, I pass it around. I might pass it around 2 or 3 times, and I don't want no buttons and shit. You know what did they say? We all how did they say it? We all don't mind the money that changes, but we like the kind that they fold up. Now you just need the electric kind. So if I can get people to pass around the hat, I am no, I'm betting on the games Monday. Definitely Vegas won. I'm definitely betting on the game Monday. I called the motherfucker today. I'm like, yeah, okay, motherfucker. I'm still getting on this shit for Monday, no doubt. I don't know about the last shot, CJ. I didn't think the last shot was manipulated, but it was one that he shot on the right side again, mid second half. That was definitely manipulated. He shot a shot on the side that you could see it kind of curve in, and I was like, and then just the noise. The last one, it looked pretty good. It looked pretty good. North Carolina got his hush mode broke and look in disbelief. Oh, shit. Richard Pryor was like, shit. That shit got me like I wouldn't have seen a damn train coming. I'd be crossing the tracks and my shit is like, oh, fuck. The train would just smack me. I wouldn't have seen the train or heard it. Too much in despair. People will bet on UNC for beating Coach K. They beat him 2 times in a row. Now Tar Heel should win it. I'm thinking I don't know that because I'll say this: the big fella Mark Macklin, he played better. He played. Even announcer said he played way over his head. I don't know if he can sustain that again. Today was 4-2, y'all. So Cody, that's with it. Well, Coach Case coached 42 years, and I just didn't bring that up, but he did. But see, you couldn't really apply to Coach K because this is one of his few teams that was mostly niggas because Coach K's whole career was based on getting European American players. What did they say? Two parent. He would only recruit with 2-parent families. So I noticed number 5 made the score 55, and that happens all the time. Good catch. Good catch. If I put in work, but after they blocked this shot, I thought that really because the next 2 possessions he had, his confidence was shook. One, he really almost strong armed, but I thought that shook him a little bit. Exactly 42. It's Kansas 124th season. Bill Self can stay on 124 losses in the championship game. Oh, that's a good breakdown. Good breakdown. Hey Derek, what's happening? 42 years and lose on 4-2. That is a good observation. That's right. 42 years and lose on 4-2. Great observation. So I'll get CJ and PJ mixed up because of my dyslexia. So please just forgive me. I just that shit crosses up in my mind. So please understand that when I see one, I'm almost seeing both of them. So please give me a little, if I say one wrong, please forgive me, but it's like they kind of look the same to me. Jordan year for the Tar Heels, they win. You think the Bulls will make the finals? Ooh, hmm, that's a good assessment. I would say possibly. I would say possibly. I would say possibly. Bill Self's dad passed back in January. Ooh, sacrifice. That's the Kansas got the UNC already did what they were supposed to do, knock off Duke. Chris Rock is from Carolina. His tour selling out, putting shows in his hometown. His home team wins. Yeah, well, of course, of course, of course, of course. Yeah, that and, Saturday Night Live had to mess with it, which was interesting. Uh, but and did y'all see like OJ and shit that said if it would have been me, they'd have lynched me if I would have did some shit. So if you would have slapped another man, who would have lynched you, OJ? Another brother, who would have lynched you? So yeah. So yeah, so I've got to I'm gonna pass the hat around my complex. I'm going to be like trick or treat for UNICEF kind of deal, have the UNICEF box. And even though it's not trick or treat, it's gonna be UNICEF for me, if you can dig. Both of these make me hot. Oh, I don't know how y'all wear them big headphones. I just couldn't do it. That shit, I'll be burning up. Uh, Duke is like big booty bras. Hate to see her leave, but it look better as it does. That's funny. That's funny. That's definitely funny. Hate to see her go, but when she go, you get a show. When she go, you get a show. See, we working together. See that, Lorenzo? You motivate me. I might have to make a song about that. I love to have a big booty girl around me, and that's all I know. Cause I love a big booty girl everywhere I go. And when she leaves, I still look at that ass shake and she give me a show. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Remember, I'm passing that hat around, y'all. Y'all gotta put something in the hat. Lost to Kansas. Everything they did was a waste. UNC loses to Kansas. Yeah, but are they gonna let Davis win his first year? I just don't see it. I don't see Davis getting in his first year. Chris Rock was born in South Carolina, like Michael Jordan was born in Brooklyn. uh, uh, OJ funny. He always talking. It would have been me back. OJ like took the jab too. They was like, come on, it's nothing to it. Like niggas is listening to OJ. I mean, he sat there. That's the way they put it out. Like, well, OJ's a spokesman now for everybody. Well, guys, I mean, who was sitting around saying, well, OJ did it. I think we need to go do it. That was like the joke they told about ask what was it, Kanye, or no, it was ask well, I'm killing the joke. I'm killing Little Wade, asking Little Wade about what he thinks about politics and shit. You know? MC Fat, what's happening? Uh Mac Fat, excuse me, Mac Fat, excuse me. I don't see the point. I think really, as I said, some years you got to look at it be rest years for people, and even though they don't make the playoffs, it be rest years for them. So that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that they ain't gonna try to make it. Now TV ratings could be. uh, uh, Stab that job. That's crazy. They carry swap regions, and he gave stars. That's crazy. They swap region. Oh, okay, I got you. Uh, CJ. uh, who's to listen to? Yeah, exactly. Who's listen to that motherfucker? Hawk shot 49 free throws. What? 49 free throws. That's how badly they got the Nets to lose. Damn, 49. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Wow, that is ridiculous. LeBron's not in the playoffs. Will hurt the NBA. Well, like especially if Steph don't play in the first round. I think that's gonna hurt him as well if both of them are out. But I just think this is the rest year for LeBron. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't make it because again, they got to get two more. Well, what LeBron's son is a junior, so almost 3 years. I don't think his son is a senior. I mean, y'all can look that up, but I think Bronny is a junior. Yes, it's ridiculous. Hawks had 50 free throws at 30 at halftime. Shit, they was blowing the shit out that whistle. They was blowing the shit out that whistle. Um, I was trying to remember what the spread is on the women's game, but I got money on homegirl Paige. I got money on UConn. I think the other team is favored, but I think UConn with Paige being at home too. I think Paige being at home, Paige is gonna bring it home. I said Paige being at home, Paige is gonna bring it home. Shit, they damn near had a bunch of people in there just watching the practice. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Hawks 30 free throws. Definitely. Oh, he's a junior. Yeah, I thought he was a junior. I was pretty sure. So that's, 2 more years. Or next year, he'll be a senior. So, he's got to play a couple pages nice. Sucks that women got to be 22 to enter the NBA draft. She ain't got to be 22 to play in Europe, though. And she'll make more money over in Russia. Shit, Maya Moore one season made $6-7 million. Teresi averaged $5 or $6 million playing in Russia. So did Sue Bird. So did Sue Bird. Uh, um, Maya Moore did too. Maya Moore was getting about 7-8 million in Russia. So they don't make money playing in the WNBA. They do the WNBA a favor. That's why they pressed them. It's like really they didn't need to play because they play over in Europe. They make more money. The game is bigger for them over there, so they make more money. So over here, they just push them to get health care year round. They made more overseas. Yeah, exactly, exactly. I mean, Grinder done played the last 6-7 years. Wouldn't be surprised she make 5-6 million a year, if not more, if not more. But Sue Bird, um, Teresi, I mean, they made a killing, hooping over there. So they've hooped over there like their whole careers. Like that, Teresi took some seasons off just so she could hoop over there because they make more money. They make more money. So, but that's my pick for tomorrow. I got money on um and yeah, I got money on UConn to win tomorrow night. Not going to the game. Somebody called me and said maybe, but I don't know if I feel like going. Teresi is the best all time in the WNBA. Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, she should be. I don't blame him. She should be. But yeah, yeah. And it's funny. I don't know if anybody remembers this, but the first pro league, the hoops was only 9 feet. I don't know if y'all remember the first women pro league, and this was probably in the mid '80s. The hoops was 9 feet, and then the second time before the WNBA started, the second league that probably went a year or two, all the women wore booty shorts. I mean, like tight fitting booty shorts. Like anybody used to watch the Vegas lingerie football. They wore shit like that in hooping. I mean, very tight booty shorts. I want to say this Nancy Lopez probably played in that league. She was still young enough to play in that league. Ah, but yeah, it was worth watching because of the booty shorts. And it was funny watching them play on the 9-foot hoops, and the chicks couldn't even dunk even back then. So um, there's been a couple leagues before that league. I'm not saying everybody is NBSA's that I don't know. I never watched the game. WNBA's, yeah, for 25 seasons. Yeah, yeah. And the other leagues stayed. I know the 9-foot league, I only think they played one season. And then the tight booty short league played a season or two, because you saw a lot of I think Weatherspoon was still young enough or yeah, old enough where she played. Yeah, you remember the lingerie football league? Yeah, yeah. They had a lingerie football league, and chicks be cracking each other, but wearing the booty shorts. I say they was wearing the booty shorts. Why they was hooping. You got a show as you watched her go. Oh, I have fun. But yeah, I'm gonna pass the hat around a few more times, so have mercy on me. And CW, don't be going on my post talking about that Duke loss. If Paige loses tomorrow, I'm gonna be on here at midnight. You see, I'm right here. I didn't run. What did I tell y'all last night? Win, lose, or draw, I told you I was gonna be back in here facing y'all. I can take all that smoke. Got rid of teams that won multiple titles, like the Comets that won 4 straight. The Houston team ain't there? Really? They moved out of Houston. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I think they really wanted Rebecca Lobo. They wanted her to be the face of the WNBA. And remember, she got hurt because she played on the first UConn championship team. But she got hurt like the first season, and that's why she started commentating like she got hurt. I want to say she was commentating while she was still in the cast. So others had to take that thing. And I'm without the NBA support, they couldn't have made it. Because the other two leagues didn't have the NBA support. The NBA is supporting it. Probably is a write-off, I would bet. I almost said fuck the WNBA when the Chicago team fired my cousin, and he really didn't have bad seasons. Because he drafted that big girl that plays for the Lynx. Fowler from LSU, he drafted her with the Sky. And this is her last season, and she's won what, two with the Lynx. WA's bias, they favorite white women. It's obvious. They get the promoting and commercials. Well, I would say this. Where would you want to see Brittany Grimer's big ass in a commercial? Don't know if I wanted to see her in the car. Hey, do you want to buy this Audi? No. Brittany Grimer. Hey, do you want to buy this Audi? Or she would be like, do you want hot wax with that? Would you like some hot wax with that? Or would you see her go, would you like pickles on that burger? So I don't see nothing we could put Brittany Griner in. Still can't believe my Amore retired, never come back. Well, what does brother Nick Taylor say? Build a boo. She saw her build a boo in prison. She used all her law degree or whatever her finances to get her build a boo off. She's in that prison and she interviewed that brother and she said, you know what? You are the perfect build a boo for me. You'll get out and you should be so happy and I ain't got to worry about you cheating. Because you remember we was in them little meetings in prison and I would flash you a little bit. Remember you'd get to see a little cleavage and shit and you'd go back into your cell and tell me how you beat it. Oh, my boy found her a good man. She found a good man. Can you imagine when she went home to her mama and shit? She's like, well, mom, this is my boyfriend, Howard, and we're gonna get married. Well, Howard, what do you do? I just got out. I was just doing a hard 10. I was wrongly convicted though. Wait a minute, you're gonna do what? You're going to quit playing basketball to marry this guy that did a hard thing. I'm silly as fuck. Maya Moore was paid to retire. She was too young, 4-0. But Maya Moore had won. She had won in Russia too. She won several titles in Russia and made more money than she could ever spend. She made more money she ever spent. She looks like Miss Swan's voice. Maya Moore all in it for that man. Yeah, oh yeah. She definitely got her bill to boo. She definitely got her bill to boo. It's equity men risk for the women all the time. So yeah, how is that reversed? If now you know somebody else, I don't know, like one of the greatest Macs of all time is Eldridge Cleaver, because Eldridge Cleaver, Kathleen Cleaver, before she joined the Panthers and married that motherfucker, she was a lawyer. It's almost identical story. Helping brothers that had got arrested and shit, because Eldridge Cleaver got busted in the late 50s or early 60s with a shopping paper bag full of bud, 3-4 pounds, and they gave him some years for that shit. And then Kathleen Cleaver, some kind of way was connected to his defense, and he just wrote some of the letters. I think is on Soul on Ice, but he wrote her all these letters. So that was some of the greatest macking ever. I mean, the letters is just and to be to see, imagine the conversations between the two of them. That one agent to probably a Boulay, and how they was going to infiltrate the Panthers. Cleaver worked for them peoples too. Hey, Matthew, what's happening? What's happening, Matthew? Um, I'm missed into. I am mixed, and I am mixed and into other races. What does that mean? Into other races. Ain't no such thing as mixed. Today's times, a black woman actually riding for a black man. There ain't no such thing as mixed. That's a lie. They tell you if you got one drop of melanin, then you are a melanated person, a carbon being. So you got to get that mixed out of there. Because there ain't no such thing as being mixed. If you got one drop of melanin, you're a melanated person. But see, they want you to not even feel that. But that's how their laws used to be. But now they want to put in there multi. There's no such thing. The other Faith Masons, Max, Iceberg Slim, Martin Luther King Jr., and Rosebud Bitteros, and Dr. Detroit. Doctor, doctor, he is the doctor, the doctor. Those Latinos are melanated too then. We have to do the Diana Ross and say, stop. Now that is an interesting perception. Because one thing that they try to tell you, and the story of disease wiping out a people was first told about South America, Mexico. That's what they try to tell you. The majority of the population was wiped out by disease. Now, when did we hear this? They tried to spread the same thing about North America, where there wasn't that many of them because, there's just this disease. These nasty motherfuckers came over here and gave them everything. So now we know the omen was melanated people. They wasn't mongrels. And we can look at even the Toltecs as being melanated people, and the same with the Mayans, and the same with multi other tribes, Peru up and down. The first mongrel tribe that was probably mongrel was probably the Aztecs, because the Aztecs came up out of America. So just saying that the Latinos, less so. I would say less so. I would say more. It's hard to it is. It's kind of hard to judge country by country because the people change so much. But somewhat of what you say could be considered, could be. But what happened and what they looked at is more Spanish, like a lot of pure Spanish. Who was that talking about Spanish and I was listening on Darkman X and they was talking about Spanish and Spaniards. And so there's a lot of Spaniards that we seeing down there. Spaniards and not Spanish. So so it's a good question. Good question. Serious question, my friend. Wow, white but 3% black. Is he black? My friend is white but has 3% black. I'll tell you like this. I'll really tell you like this. Now, if you're saying a third, does that mean out of the grandparents, one of the grandparents was melanated? I mean, that's kind of like I heard. I was watching the Alaska show, and the son couldn't shoot at him, but the dad was the third Alaskan, original Alaskan, Inuit, but probably not the Inuit tribe, one of the tribes. But the son wasn't. So kind of a tough thing to answer. One of his grandparents was possibly melanated. That would make him melanated. So that but again, it turns into how do you benefit from identity? I mean, that's really what it turns into. Like I've had so many friends, and I don't know if you know, even if brother Nick went through this, because I my school was mostly a European school, but the European dudes was super cool in high school, but as we became men and college and beyond, you could see a lot of these cats turning conservative and the super coolness that we saw, especially at integration, because my age was really a lot of integration. Um, I saw that turn in people a little bit. I saw that turn where those that coolness kind of left. So I mean, it's still melanated. I mean, still kind of melanated. There's no such thing as mixed. Melanated don't mean the same race. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. It doesn't really mean the same race. It doesn't. It doesn't mean, and it doesn't really even mean your color. Doesn't even really mean color. It means are your people more carbon based, more melanated than what we see in the Europeans? That's what it means. Because indigenous, I mean, there's indigenous Irish, the the Brits come from. I mean, one comes from Scotland. I mean, it's like they all mixed up. But we're talking about basically European. So we're saying the lack of European, the people that were, and most of the time, what I refer to is really the woodland people, the people that are here on the coast and in the South. That's kind of the people I refer to, basically. Means the next Dave Chappelle race draft will be where we are taking Mahomes. Don't even think about it. That's funny. That is funny. That's a good one. Pale horse. That's a good one. Besides, it is based on your mother's race, not your father's, as it is said. I'll tell you, and I said this, I think I said this on Super Slide show a long time ago. But what they're doing is you see the commercials and you see the push for the European father and the melanated mother. The European is going to be considered the father. I mean, right now, I think when you look at Jewish faith people, they go on the father, even though Obama's mother's Jewish faith, which kind of makes him Jewish faith too. But that's what we're going to see. They're going to change it. They're going to change it to say if your father was European, you're European. Um, Besides, it isn't based on your mother. Or okay, we read that one. Matthew. I have to notice how the ones that have promising NBA futures and contracts never win March Madness. Yeah, I mean, the greatest example I've said all the time is Scotty Graham. Scotty Graham wins the championship, declares for the draft, gets cut by the Pistons, and then he gets cut by the CBA. What is the odds of that? The dude who wins it gets drafted. I don't think he was a lottery pick, but he got drafted, I think, first, second round by the Pistons. And you never heard from Scotty Graham again. B. Grant Hill. Uh, good one. That's why Kentucky never win. You're right. uh, After the metaverse, the new technology, gold rush will be the melanin and quantum mechanics, quantum realm reference to Marvel Studios, Ant-Man, the Wasp Man, Michael Douglas. Yeah, yeah, that was it kind of gave you a look of what the quantum garden, and that's a lot of things people don't understand. As you look at quantum, there's also a gardening quantum garden, and so you look at a gosh, how can I even describe this? This might even be undescribable, but the quantum gardens is where hmm, I want to explain this and make it understandable. Okay, so all right, I guess this is the easiest way to really look at this. If you really understand how a tree is, and you really look how the roots go into the ground, and then you look at how the fungus passes around, the fungus helps the roots just as much as the roots help the fungus. So if you took both of these to their lowest quantum levels, this is kind of how the quantum gardens get started. It's it's these elements that will work together despite being separate, but they'll work together and they'll thrive together. And so this is what is referred to as the quantum gardens. You get these things from their from the single most elements they are, but once they're together and as they form into solids, these things can thrive together. They work together. But it definitely you can see this in the quantum. Uh, much rather take an NBA contract and future NBA ring than an NCAA no payment, cutting the nets down. Yeah, yeah. I would just say the only thing is when people do win it, the ones who don't make the league, it looks good for businesses to hire these dudes if these dudes have skills. But that's why you see a lot of those guys on ESPN talking like Big Perk. Big Perk only won, a championship with Boston, never won really anything else. But they do that with most movie couples now. Okay. Okay. Belly belly's full. What's happening? I am what I am. You are the reflection of self. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Thank you for joining me. UConn got 11 titles. They might get 12. That wouldn't be surprising. Gino win 12. I hope Gino wins 12. I don't lost. I don't want to lose tomorrow too. Yeah, I'm still yeah. Hey, brother Sean, what is happening? Even the trees are our ancestors this time around. We make sure our roots are deep. Hey, that's right. That is right. I mean, I'll even go to say this. Like as I say, I do a lot of directional energy. I guess that's something I cast. I guess you could say. And when I pray, I talk about the water tree, and a lot of people don't really realize or have never heard of the water tree. But one thing is one of my movements is I set myself in the water tree because the water tree roots are deep in every direction. And I've talked many times about uh, uh, and I think Bomber is the only other one that really hits on this. But this world is what was a tree world. This world was literally a tree world, and so the Poppy is the only. I'm only using holy to say a religious book that talks about the tree people. Of course, they give them a bad ending, but they talk about this, and so again, in tree world, you wouldn't think that life would come from the trees. And I know Brother Bomber talks about how, some of the insects still look like the tree. You have an owl that can do camouflage like a tree. You've got moths can do the same thing. You would never know they were there. And so you can see that a lot of this life came out of the trees. And as I say, I guess in this channel I ain't really talked about it, but um, like the first type of life that I experienced was the seas were really black. The seas looked more like oil, and this was even before the trees. And so there were beings that actually lived in this condition that they didn't have to make. They could make solids out of everything around them. And at the time, there was no land, and so they were able to make these massive structures basically out of the air and out of the water. And as the lands formed, some of them started finding solid ways to be on the land. And that's not really evolution. It was like these beings could form themselves to basically anything. And so as the land came, and then later the trees came. And so when all the land came, they were able to rise up and they lived above the land. And then when tree world totally hit, because we literally lived in the trees. I mean, my experience was we lived amongst the trees. It was like almost when we went to bed, there was almost a place like a cutout where you rested, and every nourishment was from the tree. And the one thing that really stuck with me, all of it, was the water tree. Everyone went and that was some of the substance, but everything was in the trees. And we even played the sacred ball game. And then there were the grounders that eventually lived on the ground. And then that came into where they no longer, the ground came corrupt. And because the three would meet, and I know I'm kind of rushing through this, but the three would meet. And so it was decided that the tree world would give up a little bit of their tree area so the people on the land could raise and not get, taken away in this type of flooding. Papa Evolve talks a little bit about that as well. But despite these people having their own world given to them where they would have been taken away, these people were bitter because once the land cleared back out, it was time for them to go back to their land. And again, as you see greed, certain minerals, and they started, that was kind of when the war started, because they were pissed that the highest vibrational beings didn't invite them up to their area. But the highest vibrational beings and the tree beings was trying to say, you really cannot even conceptualize what they are. So how could we put you in a place that you don't even have any conception of? It would be near impossible. You can conceptualize coming in this tree area, but you couldn't even conceptualize going to that area. But that is kind of the war. And so that's all I'll say about that. Let me catch up with these comments. Okay, right here. I'm still laughing about Hawk shooting. Okay, I'm caught. Okay, Brother Sean. Yeah, this time of year okay. The white, and I am white, and I get mad at how they shame athletes. Yeah, they do. They do. Athletes get you don't know the hits that you take losing the game. You take a hard hit. I remember I dropped a touchdown. I dropped a game-winning touchdown as my sophomore year, and I just didn't concentrate. I matter of fact, I made a move so nice on the dude. The dude sprained his ankle. When I hit that post, because it was just straight up. He was playing me straight up, and I hit the post on him, and he really couldn't turn. When he tried to turn his hip, he actually hurt himself. And I'm by myself running in the end zone. I put my hands up, and the motherfucker went right through my goddamn hands and bounced off my face mask. You talking about embarrassed like a motherfucker. There was a dude named he played with the Houston Oilers later, David Holmes, and he had a hell of a game against us, but we beat the shit out of him. We beat him like 50-10, some shit like that. Was homecoming too. And I remember going to shake his hand. He's like, "You need to get some hands." He was mad because we beat the ass, but Bronny went off tonight. Bron is in attendance, 28-8. I told my boys with this watch, and he's gonna magically turn up out of nowhere and be ready. I can't see him. They're already saying that he's not even if they had look in the lottery, he's deep, and he only what 6'2", 6'3". So, however, in the Gatorade commercial, that dude ain't that tall. That dude is only about 6'2", 6'3", if you remember. UCLA has 11, 10 of them are all wooden, so they might get it at 11. That's a good point. Never take it. Everyone will look. Everyone will look like Drake in 100 years. Could be. Um, End of the day, yeah, we are all humans. Okay, I get that. But the end of the day, huh? Dog breeders was pure breeds. That's worth those. uh, okay, okay. So we'll see. We'll see how this turns out. He ain't ready for the NBA unless he gets a serious growth spurt. But don't be surprised he end up at Carolina or Duke. The commercial showed Duke, and we already know the Duke coach. One of the assistants got the job. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes for him. But I just don't see him ready out of high school. There's no way. There's no way he'll be ready. Um, Watch out for UNC mascot name being Ramsey, just like the LA Rams and Rams in the story of Moses as Easter's approaching in the championship. I kind of thought of that too when I was watching the commercial and Grant Hills said Ramses. I thought, that is a kind of a connection. And as I put together the Bacchus energy, and I guess I didn't even look at the color of this NCAA to see if it's any hint in that. Maybe I'll have to look that up if there's any color hint. But I really think that the tell leading up to tonight was Roy Williams wearing the mask. That was the tell. It was like you don't have to wear a mask. It's like they had Don Staley wearing a mask here on the sideline yesterday, and you don't need mask. And I'm thinking this is only agenda. This is propaganda. There's no reason for her to wear a mask. In this state, you do not have to wear a mask for shit unless you go in the hospitals. Ain't nowhere here but yet she's on the sideline. And so I looked at Roy Williams like that. He was the same way. He didn't have to wear a mask, but yet he's wearing a mask every game. So that was a kind of tell. Um, I'm totally surprised, but it just shows you. I'll say this: it shows you a lot of the decision makers don't like Coach K. That's what it shows you. That they did not let him go out like John Wooden. That shows you that a lot of motherfuckers don't like him. That's that you can't really look at it any other way. That shows you people don't like him. They love John Wooden. And they let John Wooden go out a champion. And John Wooden didn't have the best team that year. Pale says Bronny's jumper looking a lot better. Okay. If you can shoot, yeah. Because Steph only 6'3". That's if he can shoot better, they got juice to supersize him a little more. He's gonna end up being 6'4". Yeah, that's fine size. I mean, Steph is like 6'2", 6'3". So if you can shoot, and they'll help your shots. So yeah, if he gets but he's gonna play college. He ain't going straight in the league. He's gonna play college. So be prepared to see that. But yeah, I mean, are the odds and the over and unders up? Anybody can post that. What's the odds for the game Monday night? I know those got to be out by now. I didn't check. I was getting this shit trying to get ready. And oh shit, this motherfucker's gonna die. Didn't realize that. Huh? Ride it out. Ride it out. That's all we can do. You respond with the gospel. You responded with the gospels. Far as what? Responded with the gospels? I'm not sure what you mean. Bonvoy commercial, you hit the nail on the head. Ramsey's thing. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah. I did catch that commercial, and that made me think of the same thing. The Bacchus too. I had that feeling they let a brother coach beat him and he lost home game, and now he's in the big stage. That could be. Kansas, okay, Kansas 4. Shit, I might take that. Hell yeah, I'm gonna take that. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna take that 4.5. Because normally championship games normally are close. So I don't think they'll win by that much, and they might not win. So, but it's definitely Roy Williams. It's a tribute to him, and that shows you who they like more. They like Roy Williams more than they like Coach K. A little bit of Kansas, a little bit of Will Chamberlain, but and that's a heads up for the NBA too. So, yeah, that's I'm taking Carolina, and if they give him 4.5, what's the over and under? Because I usually tap into that too. I usually tap into that. Kansas has blue and yellow. It might is right. Kansas thought Kansas was blue and red. Kansas has blue and yellow in it, right? I thought blue and red. I think Kansas is more blue and red. I didn't think yellow. Yeah, I don't think yellow. I mean, maybe, but I thought it was blue and red with stronger blue. So could be. You have to check it, but I think they're blue and red. Because I don't ever remember seeing in their football uniforms. I don't ever remember seeing Kansas wear yellow in their football uniforms, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I'm not really a fan like that with them. So yeah, if they're giving up 4.5, yeah, I'll definitely take Carolina. But I just don't see Davis getting in his first year. The preceding coaches didn't, but it's hard to gauge. It's really hard to gauge. Yeah, but I could see the majority of money going on Kansas. I could see that. And 4.5, there's gonna be a lot of takers. It's gonna be a lot of takers taking that. Both both teams a championship. He's one removed from coaching at North Carolina. And remember, when Michael Jordan, when they won that first championship, he was with them. He was on the sideline. When Michael Jordan won it for Dean Smith's first one, Roy Williams was on that team too. I mean, Roy Williams was on the staff. On Coach K's way out, the higher up showed they like Roy more. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they definitely did. Definitely did. But it's a lot of motherfuckers don't like Coach K. I mean, he rubs brothers wrong the wrong way because brothers watch what he did. And that's why I have never been a fan of his because, again, didn't recruit Jalen Rose because he don't come from a two-parent household. Parents didn't go to, Ivy League schools like he says in the Fab Five thing. And like Permerly, not Rex Chapman, JJ Redick. It's like he has pushed over and over and over again European players. It was like that was his goal. And you kind of, I said this the other night, and y'all can go back and look. I said this the other night. I said it might not be good for him because he's forced to play mostly brothers. He didn't play any Europeans. Not one European played for him tonight. He had one tall dude that would come off the bench. He didn't play tonight. He played the dude that transferred from Marquette. Uh, so, did you see where Coach K's wife left the game? Now it was like 118. 118, she went down to the bench. She went down to the bench at 118. I wrote that down. At 118, yeah, Coach K's wife, because that's what like that to me was like, damn, they're about to win this shit. When she went from her seat and she went down on the bench, yeah. I was like, shit, I was really surprised they didn't win. When she went, I was like, that's why, let me say this. I'll say this. It almost seemed like they thought they was going to win it when she went down to the bench. It was almost, and I don't know, it's like, did they change it that quickly? Because she did not go down there just, man, maybe she didn't feel well and needed to, I don't know. Because maybe she wanted to beat any kind of rush after the game. I don't know, but she left her seat. They showed her going on the floor. And when they showed her going on the floor, I was like, oh shit, this is a tell. They're about to give it to him. So, but yeah, I think a lot of people he does rub the wrong way. And so, I think we saw it. Yeller boy finally got a late 9. What's happening? Thank you for joining. Smacking hands with the student section. Yeah, yeah. So when I saw that, and even PJ texted me, he's like, man, I was like, man, they about to get this. I was really surprised. So I wonder if I wonder if she was under the impression they was gonna win. I really think she was. Because if you lose, the losing team moves slower than the winning team. That's just how it works. So if she did the argument, it would have been harder, to get to her husband. When you lose, it's easier. When you win, you got to talk to reporters. You got, radio people. You got a bunch of people you got to talk to when you win. But when you lose, don't nobody want to talk to you. You just go the fuck back to your locker room. So it looked like they changed it. It looked like I think she was under the impression they was about to win. I think she was told to go down there. Like we said, I showed a video on my other channel of when Drew Brees broke the record and his family's on the sideline before like it was minutes to go in halftime. And they just knew he was going to break the record before halftime. Yeah. So I don't know if that came over the air, but had to let that out. Uh I was thinking she was saying bye to the alumni in attendance. That could be. That could be. I guess I hadn't considered that. She could have been. She could have been. But I just thought it was super, super odd. I was really surprised. When I saw her, I was like, oh shit, they won. Cause but it was a good game. I enjoyed it. Love looked really good. I mean, he did. Other than the one basket they helped, he was take that one finger roll he did. Did y'all see that shit? He flipped that shit up. And they showed the top scene. I'll say this. And I don't know if a lot of y'all remember when 4K first came out. A lot of people don't really remember because you might have not had the 4K TVs, but those that did, well, I had a 3D TV too, but and 3D did a little bit of the same thing. There was so many different angles. That's what 4K used to be. Like if you paid extra cable to get the 4K at first, they shot the game like how now we see the game sideways. They shot the game more of the long way. And so you got more of those instead of the sideway close-ups or where they had to spin around to show the free throws, they would kind of and the 3D did this kind of too. They would whip the camera, come around, and then push the camera like up, watching him shoot his free throw from behind instead of showing him shoot it from the front. So I don't know if anybody else remembers that, but it was shot HD, I guess. 4K HD was shot differently at first. When they first started doing it, it was shot differently. It was different angles. And it was interesting. I don't know if everybody peeped out all the different angles that the game was shot in. I mean, at one point of the game, you could see that, it's a step down court, that kind of court where, the court is elevated, which is the LSU thing because Pistol Pete, I think, played his whole career on that kind of elevated court. But it was several different than normal game shots, cameras, I guess is the best way I can explain it. The camera views were different. It was about 10 different views than the normal sideways in front. It was a bunch of different views, which I appreciated. I don't know if any of y'all appreciated that, but I appreciated that. Uh, but she knew it was over as well. Could have been. That could have been too. That could have been. He gonna need me. But yeah, I think they didn't like him. They didn't let him go out the king, and that could have been. The gamblers might have looked at a lot of people, tried to compare him to Wooden and Wood, and that picture with Wooden. That's why I showed that shit. It was like, oh, what are they trying to show you? So they did fool me. They did fool me. So was I surprised? Not terribly surprised, but it was interesting surprise. Like, okay, okay. So I still have to drink my copper water. I know when I was talking last night, I got hungry in a motherfucker. I was like, God damn, I'm hungry. uh yeah, she could have definitely knew it was over. I wanted to show this. I always talk about scrying and stuff, and you might can find something simple like this. It's just it's blacked out as you see, and this is like I don't know where the fuck this came from. I don't think it was mine. I found it on the ground, but you probably could find some because it's a sticker on the back. But you could probably find some cheap shit like this if you don't want to get obsidian. You could probably find some cheap shit like this. It's blacked out but reflective, and there's plastics on it to protect it, but it does a lot of the same. Mean, you can see the difference between this and Obsidian, but this would do. You might be able to find something like this at the dollar store. So I just wanted to show that because I was like, shit, I was outside like, damn, you can scry in this. So it doesn't, you can use things in a magical way that ain't necessarily the best magical, or the best material. I had a feeling that they wasn't going to let him go out on top. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I was fooled. I'll say I was fooled. I was really fooled that, and I told my reasons why. I told my reasons why. And so I stood on it. And, I lost on it. So again, for about the fourth time, the hat is going back around, just pass that around and, you know, put something in it for the old man, just like, here in Minnesota, you can stand on the side of the road with a sign and shit. And you can put your hat out or your hand or whatever. You can just find somewhere to go, and you got to be around all that gas and them cars, but you can stand in the middle and have a sign that says, "I'm hungry, God bless." Don't know how well that works, but you can do it. They let you do it. Matter of fact, the homeless people took them to court. It was ACLU took them to court, and the court said, long as you have a sign and it is not against city ordinance, because most cities it ain't against the ordinance. There's only one or two areas in the Twin Cities that you can't do it. But as long as you have a sign, you can sit there, and people call it panhandling. So, God bless. Reading the sign that says, God bless, I'm hungry, don't make me feel any one way or another. As I told you before, I'm starting to see Afghanis here. We're starting to see more and more of the people coming up from Mexico for sure. And one dude was panhandling with three hungry looking children. Like he had three children behind him and a sign. And then they were working as a group because there was another dude that was across the street playing a electric violin, I think. But I mean, it was just like you could just tell the children felt so uncomfortable having to sit there, just be humiliated. Imagine if, and I don't think they was from this area, but that was just some humiliating shit. I want to let you know, you lead YouTube and undeniable basket manipulation proof footage. Thanks. Well, thank you for saying that. And it's all about, I'm like people like Lobo. It's another guy. They make the work better, and that's the key. Is as this information goes on, maybe I was the spark, but it's for people to just keep improving and showing more and more about this and about how they cheat something that really should be spiritual, and it really should be all about good nature and competition. But it's not. It's a business, and it's been a business for a long time. As I've said before, the big money tournament was NIT. That's where they made the big money, and that's where, like, if you read any autobiographies of Oscar Robertson, and again, I said Jimmy Walker was probably the last NIT star that turned the NIT out. That's Jalen Rose' dad. He played with the Pistons. He played with a couple of teams, but I think the Pistons was the original team he played with. I could be wrong there, though. I don't quite remember. I know Jimmy Walker had played with the Pistons. But that I think that was 67. And after that, as we saw Jabbar playing in the Final Four. And again, if you watch tonight, they said the Final Four wasn't even pinned in 1975. I think they said a writer in Cleveland was the first one to really use that term. And I know by now, the NCAA quick jumped on it and copyrighted it. Because, as I said before, even Jabbar, it wasn't that exciting until I really saw the change. And I talk about Tommy Curtis all the time. Tommy Curtis played with Bill Walton, and one of my handlers. He was a mentor, but he was a handler too. He was definitely a handler. He knew Tommy, and he started going to them games, and so he knew. As I said before, I got recruited by Florida A&M as a freshman in high school. Ajax Triplet was the coach then, and I wonder if Ajax, probably in his 80s. But Ajax was an ex-Western player, knew my parents and everything. And he left from, but I bring up Ajax because him and my friend, the one that was a handler, mentor, they started going to all the games. They started going to the Final Fours. And that's when you kind of saw it pick up through Bill Walton more than Kareem. Through Bill Walton made it more popular, more so than Kareem. And then by the time you get to Magic and Bird, you have what you see today. And as I said before, if you want to see, to me, the best game, and it's been a couple that matched it, but the best game was when Larry Bird beat DePaul. That was a hell of a game because you had some niggas that could hoop. You really did. And that game was more interesting than championship game. I think I even think if DePaul would have played Michigan State, they matched up better. They matched up better because Larry Bird really didn't have anybody big around him where he was easy to double team him because of size. I mean, people forget that Magic's 6'9", so defensively he plays a 3 or 4. So, and that's really what birthed what we see today was Magic and Bird. The universe has no sympathy, only produces a result according to your actions. Should we have sympathy for people? Yeah, compassion, sympathy, and compassion. What is the weirdo? One of Bobby Hewitt's dudes, the weirdo that said he drank piss too, Brother Panic. He says something interesting that is kind of it's got some truth to it. And I guess this is how I'll start it. As I said, I've talked about the day at a time coming in May. And I talk about the funky chicken being those people kind of helping our vibration for future generations. And I bring this up because I talk about the woman in the red dress. When he's singing the breakdown, they highlight a girl. And this girl briefly danced on Soul Train. I remember her being on Soul Train too. But as I said before, you see the divine feminine coming to this girl. So my point is, entities can come. Again, it's possession, but it's like entities can come on Earth. Now, to bring this back to why I bring up what Brother Panic said, sometimes, and this really does go into Voodoo. There's kind of my brother was watching. I know he's probably long sleep. He would know the name of the god, but how do I want to make this sound? So the point was, sometimes you'll see down and out people, and I don't really want to say it's necessarily a test, but you are dealing. Okay, this is the way I'll put it together. Sometimes you will see, for some reason, a higher entity will come fuck with you. And I don't mean good, bad, nothing like that. To just see how you respond. And so I guess I have to tell the example to make it make more sense. I remember passing a sign holder one time, and I didn't really think about it, but I was looped around and I passed him again. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna give this motherfucker a couple dollars because this is probably one of those entities to see if I had any compassion or recognizing, because we don't really even recognize those people most of the time. Now, and I don't want anybody to say, well, that sounds like karma. It's not karma. It is just, yeah, I guess that's the best way I can say it. It's times that you have to show compassion for people. And sometimes there can be small tests. And so recognizing that this was an entity because I know the signs, and then I didn't fucking looped around. I'm like, shit, I'm definitely supposed to see this shit. So, and Brother Panic is the only one I've ever heard say that kind of thing. So, um, so yeah, but yeah, but I will say, um, your actions, should we have sympathy for people? And so, yes, of course, if someone falls and injures themselves, some of them, someone gets in a car accident, you see the accident, do you stop and help? As I said before, I watched the two dudes on a motorcycle, and even though they sped by me to get by me, and then later they hit a motherfucking deer, I could have been like, you stupid motherfuckers. No, no, my thing was, I'm watching two dudes that's out of it, staying in the middle, laying in the middle of a fucking highway, Well, it was off. Well, still fucking highway. It was over by the airport, and well, before they closed that street down. But it was a situation where if I didn't move them out the highway, they could get ran over because they was fucking out of it. Because I knew, I was looking in their eyes. These motherfuckers had like concussions and shit, and I was like, come on, we can't stand here. I know you ain't feeling that good, but you got to move. And they fell, again, they fell that way. But again, that's the thing. Do you let these motherfuckers just lay in the road so somebody else hit them? Next day you hear, yeah, two guys after hitting a deer were ran over by a Mack truck. And so, and I left before the police or anybody got there. It was nobody but just us. They fucked the bike up. So, um, it's such a thing as luck being lucky. Is there such a thing as luck being lucky? I would say I would go with more timing than lucky. This is where the lucky comes in, is your timing is perfect. That is really what luck means, is that your timing is perfect. You have perfect timing. That's what timing, the luck is that all your timing for whatever the action is and getting a favorable result by just putting energy into whatever you're doing and getting the favor out of it, again, is timing. And so that is why a lot of times you want to raise your vibration, because you can help the timing by keeping your vibration up high enough. Now you can get disappointed and think everything is put together, but the timing don't be there. So, do you know the majority do acknowledge the disabled and disabled? That's why we keep majority of such that cause this society. Do you know the majority of you do acknowledge? Well, when I do Responsible Daddy Hour, I talk every day about this little boy, and this boy, I can't tell you how old he is, but all he can do is sit and operate his chair with a joystick. And I'll say it, and everybody might not see this, but um, I would say more Russians Russians didn't really like handicap. Nazis didn't either. Nazis didn't really like handicapped people either, but Russians, especially under Stalin, Stalin really didn't like handicap and really didn't care for orphans and shit. And so check this out. I don't know if y'all, I took psychology classes. I should have probably went into that shit. But anyway, do you know there's a condition a baby can get if the baby's never held? We watched a whole movie, a whole, documentaries on this. If a baby is not held, a baby will grow up with a certain condition. And they were showing this Russian orphanage where it just wasn't enough. Like the only time the babies would get held is when they would get fed or when they would get changed. Other than that, they didn't really get held, especially after they got old enough not to be burnt. But they end up growing, children that aren't held as babies end up growing with a certain type of condition. And again, I'm going with 40-year-old material, so maybe, but that's what they showed. And they gave the Russian orphanages under Stalin. They were showing this. And they were showing babies that was only getting held like once or twice for weeks. Only other than getting changed and fed, these babies were never held. And they would grow and have certain conditions. You could see the babies would be in bed like just, it's interesting not having that. Like it's a picture of me when my daughter, my sons my daughter had to have been 2. I don't think she couldn't really talk. She could say a couple words, but she couldn't really say a conversation. And I just noticed they were trying to get her to meow. And in the video, I pick her up when she's done. I'm like, "Are you done?" She's like, "All done." And I picked her up. And when I picked her up, I immediately kissed her. And that's something I don't really remember, but she was 2 and I picked her up out of the high chair and I kissed her. And then I was holding her for whatever we was going to do next. Um, hmm, does everyone need to be successful? Does everyone need to be successful? I mean, that's a gauge. That's a gauge. Successful is a gauge. Now, I'll say this, of all the people that live out here, I'm basically on the same level as these jokers because we live around each other and my work is the least. But yet I'm able to live in the same level of people that all work. So so it's a gauge. Success is a gauge. I mean, there's a lot of ways that success can be gauged. Now, what are you measuring it against? I guess that's what you would say. So there's a lot of little ways to be successful. When I worked for the water department, I was very successful. Got paid every week to get loans, had max insurance. Now, in my eyes, I was a failure because I didn't play pro football. So in my eyes, I was a failure. But work wise, I was a success because I had a full time job, was able to have a car, was able to have a house. So that's a gauge. So I mean, to a homeless person, what would be success to him? Eating, staying dry, could be looked at as a successful day or successful month. Again, it goes back into timing. So that's a gauge. Now, capitalism needs the rich and needs the slaves. I mean, you can't have capitalism without slaves. And I'm very conservative, but that's what capitalism is. It's based on slave labor. It's based on cheap labor. Now, not the cheap labor like we see in countries like China, shit like that. But it's still based on slave labor. Because if you ain't working for yourself and making somebody else rich, that's technically slave labor. Now, but you could be looked at as being successful, even though you ain't working for yourself. You've got a successful career. But we see a lot of people blow their brains out with successful careers. So I guess you just have to look at where that's gauged at. Over it, the human costume is played out. Yeah, I understand that. I'm writing a book on my life experience being a practitioner of the art of macking, and some folks aren't interested in the other deep subject of to write about. Write your truth. That's all you can do. Write your truth. That's all. Write your truth and don't worry about it. You ain't writing it to be successful. I mean, you ain't writing it to you writing it to put your truth out there. So you're not necessarily writing it to what it's going to do and how it's going to affect people. If you think it's your truth, put it out there. Then hustle it. Hustle it. And hustle it. Mm. Imagine them doing Handyman from Living Color. Nico Pontiac. Sorry about your Duke pick. That's okay, Nico. Thank you for joining me. I called you yesterday. If you had one wish, what it would be? My wish was to see more people build together in particular. Okay. Okay. And that's noble. That is noble. Um any knowledge of the term Shanghai? Shanghai? You gotta give me a little more reference. Give me some reference. I don't know the term just like that. I'd have to have some reference. So no, I don't know the term. All right. Oh, how long have I been going? Oh, I know my butt is hurting sitting here. Oh, better. Kind of leaning in one direction. Woo, didn't want to do that. Oh, but I'm about to change all this shit around. Yeah, I got to get my bed to the west before September or May in the long days because I'm really going to enjoy the long days this year. May has the longest days. Like last May, I would get off of here like 2, 3 in the morning. By 3:30, I would hear the fucking birds chirping. Like, damn. And it would get light about 4:30, quarter to 5. I love that. And so I don't think my knee is hurt as bad. I'm kind of taking this week off. Notice when I still go to my left, there's a still little thing. And I think Monday they're gonna fit me for the brace. I hope both braces came in to see which one, because my insurance to pay for the shit. So uh, definitely, there's so many ways to see what success is for individuality. Or success as a group comes from many different forms. One is always different than the other. Yeah, indeed. So it's a gauge. Success is based on a gauge, and so what is your gauge? If you describe the definition of heaven, what does it mean to you? Hmm. I don't know that we can hold it for long, but we definitely can hold bliss for a little while. Now, the first time I really fell in love, I was in 10th grade, and there was a senior I just loved, and I told her story. His name was Suma Groove. Fat ass. Oh my goodness, she had a fat ass back then. And I got to go out with her one night, and the Ohio Players had a song that said, "Heaven must be like this. It must be like," and I've never felt what I felt that night. I've never felt that again. Now I've been in love since, but not that feeling I got that night. So I think the only way we could really understand what would be heaven, would be minutes of the moment. So there are minutes, or there are moments where we can feel all that bliss. There are all the joy, all the bliss. There are moments we can feel that. Now I know that's not what you asked. You're saying what my idea of it would be. Well, before the war, before the war, when I talk about tree world, that was probably, if it was ever an idea of me seeing how a society ran, like what heaven would be, that was it. Because you were in an environment where everything around you helped you. You wanted for nothing, and there was cooperation between different entities. So I guess that would be my own my own experiencing that. Now later it did get fucked up, but for a long, long time, that was what I would say I saw heaven practiced in tree world. I saw heaven practiced. So now going back into now, I think we get a glimpse of, and how we get it when we have children born. That's kind of a feeling that the mother and father both get of heaven as creators. So saying now, what would be my idea now? I mean, again, this whole thing would have to be overthrown and start brand new, because we could definitely have heaven on here on earth, but through getting that, it would have to be a lot of elimination, and that's the same thing they say. That's what the Nazis say. Their idea would be have to be a lot of motherfuckers killed, and that's you just you can't really see it being any other way, because the wicked would have to be eliminated for it to really be like that. It would like the wicked would have to be eliminated, which would cause a lot of other problems. So, but I will say this too. I'll say this. This might make me make even more sense. I really, what I would like when I hear Nick Taylor talk about all the land he has, and being able to put his trucks on land and all the land available in Texas. I looked at my great grandfather on his farm, and I really thought as a little boy it couldn't be better than that. I just watched his routine and his nephew's routine that are all farmers. And I say, if there was any practice that I physically saw, not as a spiritual sense, I thought farming was a type of heaven. I really did. Being that in tune with nature, being a healer of people and animals, I think that's the closest, some of the closest I did see, other than, as I said, about the children and being in love. Um, no, I guess I've been talking for a minute. Okay. We got to get back to living in the Amish way, a little more of 100 than pick born up 100 yards. Yeah. I mean, you can't really knock how they live. They say that all this shit is evil. They say zippers is fucking evil. They say none of this shit, none of this B shit. They don't accept any of this B shit to a point. They don't accept this B shit to a point. They use some of it, but mostly they say keep that shit. They don't. They don't job their kids, and they don't have any autism either. Yeah, yeah. Uh, mm, that's a wavy name. Yep, that's the first love feeling is like nothing else in the world. Oh yeah. What I felt for Sue McGrew, I've never felt again. Hey, Gray, what is happening? Oh, okay, okay, thank you. You're right about North Carolina and Kansas. Yeah, I lost tonight, but I see that as the Roy Williams, excuse me. And the tell should have been him wearing the mask. That was the tell, and I missed that. I didn't miss that. That's why we're speculating, just like speculators. We speculate sports on history. I don't just go by the numbers. I go by the history. And history, I just history showed me that Coach K was probably going to go out the same way that John Wooden did. But as I said earlier, this motherfuckers didn't like him, so they didn't let him go out like that. Could have been his own. I mean, he could have had a word and said, I've wanted enough. My children, man, because this is what you got to understand about the Final Four. It's a winning season. It's a winning season. It's considered championship basketball just going to the Final Four. You've won that region. You've had win, lose, whatever happens in the championship and the semifinals and the championship is secondary till you all won. And it's a banner that stay up there forever. 20, 21, 22 team Final Four. Like they took Michigan's banners down that they made it the Final Four 2 years in a row and Big Ten. No, they weren't Big Ten champions. I don't think the second year. I don't think either year. The Final Five was there. I don't think they was ever Big Ten champions, but they made the Final Four twice, and those banners came down. So that's a winning season. Look at the coach that went from St. Peter's that got hired at Seton Hall. He took a team to the Elite Eight. Now you think St. Peter's mad? He put $4 to $6 million in their coffers. You think they mad? Like shit, coach. Thank you. I picked Nico said I picked North Carolina to win it all. Okay, I'm gonna end up betting on North Carolina. They giving 4.5. I'm taking that all day in the final. We knew that Coach K was gonna break even with Duke at 50-50, and the first career loss was to UNC. And I watched that game. I watched the first game he coached. His last home game, he lost. I got you. That's a good point. I watched the first time he ref. I think he started the year after. I think my sophomore year might have been his first year. I don't know if my freshman year was 79-80. I think he was 80-81, I think. You think they'll let Hubert Davis? See, that's the hard one. That's the hard one because if they let him win, he's leapfrogged over Dean Smith and he's leapfrogged over Roy Williams. Now, if this is a full Roy Williams ritual for sure, then yeah, they'll let him win. I don't know. Don't know if they want to raise him that quickly. But again, he's successful because he took that team there. So whatever happens tomorrow, he's successful because he took the team to the finals. And I say they won. I think they won the conference and they won the tournament. I think they won both the conference and the tournament. I ain't got time to be decoding some of these dudes be doing. Oh yeah. I mean, Zach lives it, and that's one thing you got to think of Zach that's noble. I mean, he lives it. So you've got to look at that, and he knows that shit backwards and forwards. So you got to, if you look at anything as Zach, he lives that. But that isn't the whole story. And plus his agenda-driven shit, everything's the Jesuits and not them peoples. I said everything is the Jesuits to Zach and not them peoples. Zach when Zach first started, he said that it was them peoples. But now he says it's the Jesuits and not them peoples. Them peoples make the world go round. Them peoples talk about they was impressed in motherfucking Germany. But them peoples was some of them same Germans kicking ass to them peoples.
Ow!
Them peoples was put out almost every country in the world at one time and another.
Ow!
Hey, Barbara, thank you. Thank you for coming, Barbara. Thank you for coming to join me. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate um I appreciate your help, your support, Barbara. Thank you so much. And so, what he does is noble. It's pretty noble what he does, but I think he has an agenda. And if you are really into it, you can't really have an agenda. You always got to be fluid. You can't be stagnant in your conversation. You got to always have it fluid in your knowing and the information you bring in. So, and that's why I say he's agenda driven, because I've watched him from the beginning. Because again, when he first did his show back in the summer of 16 or the summer of 17, I met Zach before I met Sly. I met Zach. I was still living in my house. I didn't meet Sly till shit the summer of 17. I met Zach probably the summer of 16. That's when I think I met Zach. So yeah, I met Zach like almost a year before I had met Sly. I still got his number. I called the nigga on accident. I was like, oh shit. I thought I was calling him to do his show and it was fucking him. But I didn't realize it was him. Then I texted him like, is that you, Zach? Motherfucker didn't ever answer. So I didn't care. Oh, thank you, Barbara. Did you watch any of the WrestleMania? Not really, Nico. Not really. Sly know that shit good. I really didn't. Um, you know, uh Growing up watching the local Michigan people, I always talk about Bubba Brazil, who started the Cocoa Butt, head button. Bubba Brazil was the first person, Bubba would be like, they do the tag team. They're like, uh-oh, there goes Bubba. And he's about to unleash the Cocoa Butt. And he'd like Cocoa Butt, like when they would do the bunch of people in the ring and shit, he would just Cocoa Butt everybody. He Cocoa Butt even the referee. Bubba Brazil was just head button. He was a head button motherfucker. So no. One of the long time Dakotas did a video on him today. If you want to check it out, it's Dr. Savage. Oh, okay, Dr. Savage that put some shit on him. Okay. I'll probably look that shit up. I don't know if I think about it. Dr. Savage. All right. And I don't be hating on Zach. I mean, he stands on what he does. You gotta, look at it like that. He stands on it. But you gotta move the way you move. And you can't be stagnant in your thoughts. Your thoughts have to evolve as things evolve. And you can't like come out here like you ain't gonna like, even if you went to my first channel, you would never hear me saying that, I was for taking the guns away and all this kind of shit. And you ain't gonna see that. I try to be the same level. Now, some of these sports picks, no, I don't get them all the time right. I don't. I go by history and I look at history and say, okay, this is what history has shown me in the past. Now that it made me realize tonight that them motherfuckers don't like Coach K. That's something I underestimated, because I really didn't like that motherfucker either. Uh, um, it amazes me how they get these games scripted so tight, narratives going in both ways. I mean, they're fluid. Definitely, the fix is definitely fluid. And a prime example is, like I was saying, if it went Villanova, North Carolina, I felt North Carolina would win. But remember, in that Villanova, North Carolina game, the dude makes a manipulated three from the side. He double pumps from like 30 feet. He does a double pump. Remember that off the backboard? And I'm pretty sure I made a video back then. And then Villanova does where the 3-point shooter hangs back and nobody just happens to guard him, and they manipulate it going in. But do you see what I'm saying? How fluid they did it. They made his shot go in, and it looked like Carolina was about to win, because Carolina was up by 2. And then the big dude from Villanova, he trails the play. Nobody guards him. He hits a 3. And they went back, and this dude hadn't hit very many threes all season. So you see how fluid they can make it. As I said, it's the egghead man sitting in the room. He's looking at these bets and how they all going. And um, is Coach K one of those peoples? I would say Coach K is definitely military intelligence. Coach K went to Army. He played for Bobby Knight at Army. So he went to West Point. Coach K is West Point graduate. So Coach K is definitely Army intelligence, no doubt about that. Just like Popovich. Popovich, the same thing, Army intelligence people. That's why they used him. And so, as I said before, Coach K got the best Europeans every year. Bobby Hurley, if it was a good European, they was at Duke. It just the good Europeans happened to, the hooping Europeans that made a difference just kind of went away. So he didn't have anybody to recruit. That's why as I said earlier, PJ confirmed it. He had to use niggas this time. And there's only one dude that played in the last game. He ain't played tonight. That big tall dude, the European, didn't play tonight. But that was Coach K. And I've criticized him for years for about that. That he really ain't with the brothers. So he's Army intelligence for sure. Definitely Army intelligence. West Point graduate. And so I wonder if he even went to Vietnam. I wonder because Vietnam would have still been going. He'd have been an officer. You'd have to look it up where he served. He probably served in Germany. I bet anything he served in Germany because when you go to West Point, you gotta like David Robertson got out of it because when David Robertson joined the Navy, David Robertson was like 6'2". He was like borderline to getting the goddamn sub, and that motherfucker grew to 7 foot. Way too big to be in a sub. So they let him get out of it. Some of the players they've let get out of it, like Danny Ainge. He was a Mormon, and Mormons generally. Sean Bradley got out of it too. Mormons go do missionary work, and so Danny Ainge got out of missionary work, and so did Sean Bradley. But Roger Staubach didn't. Roger Staubach, who won he was a junior. He was the first sophomore junior to win the Heisman. And Roger Staubach, they sent his ass to Vietnam. Shit, that's why he didn't have a really long career because it was something like 2 or 3 years back then, maybe even up to 4. You had to stay in the Army once you graduated from West Point. So, they're saying Zach's an agent and we're in a controlled leak. I mean, is he really that important? I mean, he could be, but is he really that important? I don't think I don't see how he benefited from them constantly taking away his channel. Now he has made money. He's made good money. I mean, hell, like I said before, my video on his channel did 100,000 views, the one he shared, and that was about $800-900, and I didn't see a dime of it. But so he's made money. I don't see where he benefits from them constantly taking away his channel. So would they yo-yo with somebody like that? Would they erase the material if he was really on their side? I would dare say not. Because if he was truly on their side, I think they would leave his material up. I mean, we see the agents that they leave the material up. So you can go back and look at the material. We see the agents. Hell, the fucking biggest YouTuber, Joe Rogan, if you think he don't work for them, he ain't just getting these thousands of millions of views being Joe Rogan. This motherfucker works for them too. So he's controlled opposition, but we see it all the time. Alex Jones, motherfuckers controlled opposition. So I would just say that. Why would they erase so much of his work? So that would be, I guess, the only thing I could say. A controlled leak. Okay, I got you. The people are so ahead of us. I'm sure they already have a sports script written to 20 years from now. That's a good point. Because the technology is further along than what we think. Right. We said he had to tonight. Yeah, maybe 50, 100 years, honestly. Well, my man James Branch I've had on before. He also goes by Red Wolf. And I'm glad his channel's picking up steam. I got to bring him back on. But he was saying something that you have to already know. And when I had him on last year or the year before. Maybe it was my other channel. I'm not sure, but he says something I don't think probably went over a lot of people's heads. And he was saying how, the guns and the bombs and shit we had already done. Um, so as the higher minds came in, they didn't have to use all that shit, all the killing. That's why I would say, if you look at when they froze the motherfucking wizards and why everybody was using bow and arrows again, it wasn't turning everybody back. It was keeping from mass killing. And where do you see, well, again, you can say the iron with the swords and stuff. Okay, maybe a little bit, but not jumping from swords to fucking cannons and not jumping from cannons to basically, one shots. And not one shots that put the rifling in the rifles to make it more accurate. I mean, this is wizard work. The guns come from the wizards. Now, you took metal swords against what was in the Americas with the shields, the Americans would still win with sheer numbers. Now, let me show you this. Oh, 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 oh. Now, I've showed this book before. Now we got Columbus and them. They got horses. You don't see the cannons, but they had cannon technology. But they've got the metal spears against bows and arrows, and they did have obsidian clubs and shit. But the numbers would make this not significant. These people fighting, after they fought, they would have to rest. The numbers in America, there were so many more, you could fight them 24/7, 365, and there's no way they could survive. There's no way they could survive. So that's why Cortez is some bullshit. This is some bullshit. It's no way, like Cortez take 500 men. He ain't had no real guns, and guns was the old guns. He had cannons. But how did he sleep? How did he sleep without being attacked by thousands and thousands and thousands? If I got 10,000 men, I don't care. You got guns. You're going to read. Well, no, let me take that back. I don't care if you got metal swords. If you got 500 men and I got 10,000, eventually I am going to kill all 500. If the only things you got is horses, lances, and metal swords, I am going to overwhelm you with numbers. And is the case in Mexico, South America. Okay. Say you kill 7,000. I got another 10,000 waiting. What do you got? And if you fight 10,000 people, you're going to lose a bunch of people or 500 people. You can almost say you're going to lose 250 people. You're going to damn near lose half of your people. So now I got 10,000 facing 250 people. So the story is a lie. There's no way what they tell you he did with 500 people happened. It's impossible. It's impossible to happen the way they say happened. Well, so many people hated the Aztecs and he was able to make all these allies. As I said before, there's a story in my book, The Other Slavery, that really is a great chronicle of Cortez and them going through Mexico. Matter of fact, I'm reading another cat, Cortez, or another conquistador. But around the 17, let me get this right. Yeah, around 1770, the melanated people of South America had them. They were on the verge of wiping out every Spaniard. They had them. And out of nowhere comes 30,000 people to reinforce and save the Spaniards. Now, when I talk about timing, do you know how long it takes to group and feed and move 30,000 people to the exact point at the exact time? I mean, Brother Nick Taylor in the Army, he'll tell you logistics ain't really changed that much. It would take you a month to get that many people together and go be a fighting force somewhere at the right time. A month almost. So that story we know is not believable. So this does feed into this shit not being real because it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. The numbers ain't there. So to get back to saying that if it's an illusionary thing, it's a lot more technology that we don't know about. Again, you know, the Maya is so far advanced of anything. Like talking about quantum and beyond, the Maya probably can fuck with all that. But it is a machine. It is a machine, but it is the most ancient machine on our planet. In some kind of way, the one-eyed beast has worked with this machine, and together is what we see. Now, what year that happened, I can't say. But there definitely is some kind of agreement between the machine and Marduk, Satan, all that shit is some kind of way working together. So CGI looks too real. That's why somebody was talking last night about the sports. I mean, eventually it's going to be like the Jetsons showing the robots playing sports against each other. Sports is going to turn into that, where the stars is going to be the people playing the games, and they're going to make these avatar athletes, but it's going to be the controller more than. And there's a little rollerball, a little bit like that. Been a couple that kind of animated teetered on that a little bit, but that's probably what they wanted to turn into. Oh, well, my behind is hurting, and so tomorrow will be my Friday, so I will be on tomorrow. Watch the women's game, give the young women some support. Go team! So to see Paige turn it out, she is smooth as silk, baby, smooth as silk. Yeah, I dug that too. Wesley Snipes wearing the mascot apron. I peeped that out because somebody asked me. My mother's like, "Well, he's looking kind of sick and stuff, and he had these weird shorts on." So somebody, of course, Facebook pops that shit up, and I'm like, "Look at that! I was looking like, is this motherfucker got a kilt on? What does he got on? Shorts with a kilt?" Like, yeah, this motherfucker did this bullshit. He's showing just like look at my short is showing whoever that dude is tonight, the comedian that's got the HBO series that did Saturday Night Live. He come in there with the hidden hand. He did it 2 or 3 times. He put his hand in his pocket at one point, but he did the hidden hand. And I show weird old Pete wearing the cheetah print, on Saturday Night Live. So look at that little short. Uh, Wearing the cheetah print. So weirdo Pete with the cheetah print on. So yeah. So you think that shit with him and Kim is real? Mm. And I said this about the Kardashians. Mm. I'm Facebook friends. I've been Facebook. I used to be Facebook friends first with this lady's daughter, and then with her mother. But I know the mother. She had a younger sister, and no, she didn't just show pictures with them witches with her young sister. And as you're looking at the picture of this young woman, you see nothing but naive. I mean, you just see the naive in her face to be that close to them witches. And I mean, it is just like, I just look at this picture and her mom's all happy. And I'm like, but see, her mom is naive. Now, what's interesting is her older daughter does commercials. Now, she's not as popular as my friend Brittany Ball is. Shit, you go into Macy's, you see pictures, big ass pictures of fucking Brittany. I used to go in the Mall of America and crack up. I would see a goddamn big ass window, just nothing but Brittany, light skinned, pretty sister. But this other girl wasn't on that level, but I've seen her in a few commercials. Because I asked her mom, like, was that your daughter? Such and such. She's like, yeah, that's okay. I was like, okay. But then I saw her younger daughter with them witches. I'm like, but you could just see the naive in her daughter's face. Like you could see she ain't been turned out yet. She ain't been turned out, but you could see that's why she was around them because she was young and naive. And they look for that kind of thing to suck their life force out of. And I just looked at the picture and felt sick to my stomach. I was like, damn. I was really like, damn. Damn. You know, it's like a double dam. So, well, guys, I am. I will do the divination. I'm not quite prepared, so I'm going to have to look it up. I know that the energy is coming out of the north tomorrow because I did my praying today. You know, I prayed to direction for sure. And I'm gonna definitely start doing pendulum readings for anybody's interested. I'm gonna do card readings, but I'm gonna wait till I switch my desk around, bring my desk in here, and so I'll just have a. It'll be easier for me just to keep a area free of energies because on this table it's a lot of energies, and I want to cut down the energies when I start doing. So keep that in mind if anybody is ever interested. All right. So the energy tomorrow is going to be coming out of the north. We are in day 10, and day 10 is considered Ak. Ak or dog or foot. Qualities, heart, breakthrough, new beginnings, relationship, companions of destiny, emotional body issues, recasting the past, spiritual strength, guardians and guides, authenticity, uh, magnetizer, symbols, wolf, dog, or foot. The number is 10, manifestation. The color is teal. I don't have anything teal. Red clover is the flower, witch hazel, raspberry. Flower is daffodils. Flower essence is dill, emotional clearing. Scents is rosemary, oil, bayberry. Never smelled that before. Stones are azurite, inclondolite, and kyanite. It's the air element, and it is coming out of the north. Shadow wisdom will be issues of emotional body, possessiveness, jealousy, getting caught up in the emotional drama of life, feeling unsupported on your path, seemingly disconnected from your companions of destiny, inauthenticity. But your transformation will be access the objective witness who sees the emotional drama dispassionately, frees your experience. Bring your emotions out of drama to a place of choice, receiving their teaching and healing the root cause. Open to the connection and support your companions of destiny. A harmonic wisdom is affinity. But I was going to practice some of these mantras. So let's see how I do this. Left hand over heart, right arm at right angle with palm forward and the fingers together. So I imagine it would be like this. Kind of look like some shit the Moors would do. Remember King Dolo, King of the Moors? Probably, I'm guessing some more like this is what they're kind of asking. And then you would say, I am the faithful arrow that flies into destiny's drawing. Or you could do the affirmation with doing the mantra. I am open to new beginnings. I receive guardians and guides. So, but I never claim to be perfect. I'm the most imperfect. I'm the perfectly imperfect. I think I brought everything out I wanted to bring out. Both teams, yeah. Tell you what, Carolina cannot afford to go 3 minutes without scoring in any half. They would definitely lose. That's what killed Villanova. So, I always end with Mora. It all starts with a gentle sadness. They came from their original homeland. They knew that they had exact numbers of years and days before they would disappear off the earth as a culture and a lifestyle. But the civilization would build to a gentle love. They lived in the Creator's day and knew how to separate cycles in the Great Serpent. And to all my friends, to all my relatives, all watching, remember that I am another yourself. So as you look into others, remember that you really are looking at yourself. And as you lay in your bed tonight, may you rest well. May nothing bother you as you're laying on your creation ball field or terrace. a creation ball field, so may nothing bother you. May you have harmony and rest well. And finally, remember, love just is. Love just is. No more, no less. Definitely no opposite. Hate and love ain't got nothing to do with each other. They try to take down love. That's what they try to do. They try to take down love to make you think that love isn't the heartbeat that goes through the universe. As I said, the tree needs the fungus and the dirt just as much as the dirt and the fungus need the tree. Because eventually that tree grows strong and big and it protects the dirt. So we see that nature was made to cooperate. And for some reason, we're made to be parasites. If we was gorillas or we came from monkeys, why do gorillas eat fucking, and I know gorilla ain't a monkey, but gorilla can just eat grass. Do you know how much easier it would be if we just ate grass and leaves and shit? You know how much healthier we can be? How much healthier people would be if we were all herbivores and we didn't need cows, we didn't need pigs, we didn't need chickens. All those things were brought from Europe. We had bison in America. Buffalo lived in Europe. And at one time, they killed all their buffalo. That's why there ain't no more buffalo in Europe. Buffalo used to have in Europe, and they killed them all, just like they killed all their trees in Europe, the majority of them. As I've said this time and time again, if you think this is real around you, well, ain't no ancient trees. I mentioned this. I mentioned watching the show about Alaska. I ain't seeing no 400-year-old trees in Alaska either. I'm watching this man in the mountains and I'm looking like, where's the ancient trees? Just because it's cold, that don't mean no ancient trees. So that shows you even up there, they killed everything. There was a war on the trees. And look around you. There ain't no old trees unless you go out way west. They literally decapitated all the trees. Drive, drive anywhere. Go through the mountains. Tell me you see 400 or 500-year-old trees, which shows when Europeans first came here. That shit exists in one pocket of the country. And they'll show you, you can look at maps that they'll show you how they degreen. They talk that shit about the deforesting down in the Amazon. They don't say shit how they deforest this. That's why they had the Dust Bowl. Fucked up the land and the land fall back at their ass. But that goes back into how can this be this old when ain't no shit around us old? That's partly that mud flood shit too, is trying to say, where's the old shit? Why is the old shit tore down? Because ain't really no old shit around us. Not really. Not if you look around, ain't really no old shit. Where can you really go in America? I mean, oh yeah, we can go to Chiquia. We can go up there. We can go down in Ohio to see the snake mounds. There are a few things that are ancient, but not much. Not much in America that's ancient. And we know the Smithsonian Institute and Europeans, that lie of saying, no, we didn't know anything. There wasn't anything going on. When I was a child, it was told that no reading and writing. When Columbus came, one reason why Manifest Destiny, the Papal Bull, document of discovery was because we didn't have any culture here. That's when I was a child, what they said. There's no culture, no culture, no reading, writing, none of that shit. Well, of course, in 40 years, they showed that shit's a lie. That's why I'm gonna tell you what fucked them up too. When them heads came out, they hated that shit. They hated that shit. Because if you look at head number one, which this is a reenactment of it, they bust all this shit out right here of head number one. They tried to destroy it, but without a jackhammer, just hammers or just hammers, no way. It would take you years. And they ain't have years once that shit was discovered. They ain't had years. But they tried to destroy it. You see a couple of them where they bust their nose off, like they did over in Kemet. And that even that Kemet shit seems kind of I don't know if that shit is even believable. But them heads fucked them up in this country because they have no, and you don't ever see them doing any recreation of the Omen's face, do you? They want to recreate everybody else, Lucy and everybody else. I got books that show they got crypts. They know where the Omen is buried. Anytime they can do DNA, they can do reincarnation of them. They seem to be able to do DNA of the rest of the world. They don't seem to be in a hurry down there because, of course, they couldn't tell you to lie. Fear of a black planet, fear of a melanated planet. All right, well, um, yeah, my ass is hurting from sitting. I need to get up and get out and go do something. So, y'all, this has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. Thanks everybody for joining me. As I told you, win, lose, or draw, I still was going to be here because I stand on mine. I'm a man's man. I don't cower from anything. I face danger. My whole life, I face danger. I face disagreements. I don't hide. Be like, yeah, I didn't really say that shit tonight. That wasn't me. And, I still got the hat. The hat's around for the 5th time. Needs to be a little heavier, guys. Oh, shit is just so funny, y'all. I had so much fun. Thank you guys for having fun with me. I appreciate it. And CW, don't be talking shit on my damn comments and shit, bringing that Duke shit up. I know they lost, man. Tomorrow I ain't even gonna have no clothes on. I might not even, like I said, I might have to do my show on a little clam phone and shit. I got an Obama phone in here somewhere, and I might have to get the Obama phone out and some kind of way have somebody go into my channel and talk to the phone over y'all like that and shit. I'm gonna be broke down tomorrow. Oh, I like to talk shit. CWE, I'm just bullshit. Don't take it personal. I'm just bullshit. So y'all know how I do it. This has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. Till we meet again. Say less.